Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our 2014 CFL season preview for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And we're going to see how well the Ticats stack up versus the rest of the field this year in the CFL. But first, let's take a look back at the CFL draft to see how well the Ticats did this past May.
You can see where the focus was for the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the draft. Defensive focus. 4 out of the 6 selections were on the defensive line. Evan Gill is now playing in the NFL, but they did make a big splash with their first overall selection, Bo Landry out of Western. Here's a guy that's a big-time playmaker, was a former wide receiver for Western, moved to linebacker, and you can see right off the bat the speed and the athleticism, so they can get creative in how they plan to utilize him. My bet is that they're going to line him up all over the place. He's going to be matched up versus running backs, in the slot versus some wide receivers. He's going to be a big-time blitzer and do a lot of great things as a rookie for the Ticats. This is the biggest question mark about the upcoming season for the Ticats. Who's going to play quarterback? They lose the league's top passer in Henry Burris, who led them to the Grey Cup last year. And it's a two-man race between Dan Lefevre, who was a red zone, short yardage, goal line quarterback, and Zach Caleros, who comes over from the Toronto Argonauts after throwing 14 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions last season. In my opinion, Lefevre would be the better choice because of what he can do from a mobility standpoint. I'd also keep an eye on Jeremiah Masoli, who isn't as polished of a passer but offers up the same opportunities Lefevre does because of his mobility. It wouldn't surprise me to see all 3 guys play significantly at some point throughout the course of this season. I like what the Ticats have in the backfield with C.J. Gable, E.C. Sofel, and Lindsey Lamar. All 3 guys possess the same versatile traits: great agility, receiving skills, and also return ability. Now, with the concerns at the QB position, I'd look for the Ticats, at least early on in the season, to lean on the ground game. Gable rushed for nearly 800 yards last year at 6 yards a carry. Look for him to cross the 1,000-yard mark in 2014. Sofel is a guy that has Darren Sproles-like capability with the way he darts in and out of his breaks and how he can make one miss in the open field, and he can also be moved around the formation and provide matchup opportunities for the offense. This is another outstanding unit for the Ticats. Now gone is Andre Jones, but most of their top receivers return. Bakari Grant, who led the team last year with almost 950 yards. You have all-pro vet Andy Fantuz and Greg Ellingson, who stepped up in a big-time way last year as a rookie. Those 2 guys combined for over 1,600 yards receiving. Look for second-year man Luke Tasker out of Cornell to play a huge role, as well as Sam Jageri. Both of those guys are primed for breakout seasons. Kerry Coate comes over from Edmonton, where he put together some very impressive seasons as well for the Eskimos. So depth and talent isn't the problem here. The real question is, will they have the consistency from the quarterback position to reach their full potential? This would be where the other major question is about the offense for the Ticats. Hamilton allowed a league-worst 65 sacks last season, and you combine last season's struggles with the fact that they're breaking in a new quarterback this year, and you can see why there's a big-time question mark about the offensive line. And the improvement has to start on the interior. Gone is all-time Ticat great Marwan Hajay at center. First crack at the spot is Tim O'Neill, who played a lot of guard for Hamilton the last 2 seasons, and I actually like what they have on the outside in Brian Simmons and Joe Figueroa. Now, health permitting, there's nowhere to go but up for this group, and to their credit, they dealt with injuries all season long, and that contributed to their constant shuffling and lack of continuity up front. Now, there's talent up front for the Ticats. It's just all about execution now, and I'm a big fan of what they have out there on the edge. Brandon Boudreaux led the team last year with 7 sacks. Eric Norwood is a guy that can definitely bring it off the edge. They still have Antonio Coleman, and keep an eye on 2014 free agent signee Brandon Thurman out of Arkansas Pine Bluff. Here's a guy that has all the athleticism in the world and would be a sleeper candidate to make the roster. Now, keep in mind, this is a defensive line that's supposed to have players of the caliber like 2013 first-round pick Lyndon Gadosh and second-round pick Brent Urban. Both guys are in the NFL and would have, along with the aforementioned defensive ends, helped this Ticat team that finished last in sacks last year with 35. Now on the inside, the signing of defensive tackle Ted Laurent from the Edmonton Eskimos will give the run defense a big-time boost. Laurent was a consistent performer for the Eskimos, and lining him up next to Brian Bulkey, who plays with length and leverage, should do a great job in keeping those guards off the backers in the running game. And expect to see more of third-year player Terrence Moore, who flashed potential in limited duty last season. Injuries hit this unit hard last season with Tamani Lawrence and Marcellus Bowman missing extended time. Both are back 100% and ready to go. And I'm excited to see 2012 draft pick Frederic Plessis take the next step and become a dominant playmaker on the inside. He played sparingly last year as a rookie, but he's a big-time talent who should be a fixture on the inside for a very long time. Big things are also expected from 2014 first-round pick Bo Landry. The former wide receiver turned linebacker was the best backer in the draft, and it's his speed and athleticism that makes him a threat rushing the quarterback as well as dropping back into coverage. Craig Butler and Abraham Cromwell also factor in the mix, with Butler being very good versus the pass, showcasing his talents numerous times over the last 3 seasons for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Contrary to the 2013 statistics, the Ticats actually were okay in the secondary last year, considering the fact that they struggled to get pressure on the quarterback. Now, virtually the entire unit remains intact. Delvin Breaux and Emmanuel Davis will man the corners. Keep an eye on free agent signee Corey Lindsey, as he could see extended time on the outside. Evan McCullough is one of the best halfbacks in the game. The other halfback spot is up for grabs, but expect Rico Murray to slide back into that role after playing more of a linebacker role last season. Courtney Stephen is also back patrolling the deep middle at the safety position. Expect rookie Mike Daly, who has great instincts and ball skills, to compete for time both at halfback as well as at safety. Now, he was drafted last year by the Ticats, but decided to return to McMaster. Now, with the improvements made up front, expect the numbers to go up on the back end, but nonetheless, this is a very talented and underrated group. The Ticats have sound coverage units and expect them to have more of the same in 2014. The new wrinkle is at kicker, where second-year player Brett Lawther is taking over for Luka Kanji. Lawther went 6 out of 10 last year as a rookie, and obviously his opportunities will increase this season, and the hope is that the production matches it. Now, the return game is in excellent hands with Brandon Banks. The 5'7", 153-pound speedster has a great knack and great feel with both the kickoff return game as well as the punt return game. But whether it's Banks or Lindsey Lamar, the special teams unit has to contribute in a big way this season for the Ticats. The reason for optimism for Hamilton: they have dynamic skill players. They can score from anywhere on the field, whether it's from the running back position with C.J. Gable or one of their many receiving targets. They have 5 guys that are legit threats, so you have to be optimistic for Hamilton, especially on the offensive side of the football, as well as on the defensive side. We talked about the secondary, very talented group of guys, and they're not bad as what their record may have indicated or what the stats may have indicated last season. Remember, this is still a football team that made the Grey Cup last year, so there's a lot of reason to be optimistic if you're a Ticats fan. Now, the biggest cause for concern for me is that offensive line. If they have a complete relapse and revert back to what we saw in 2013, 65 sacks, it's entirely too much, and that can't happen this year if they want to get back to the Grey Cup. Now, the road to the Grey Cup for the Ticats goes as follows. Number 1, the line of scrimmage does the complete turnaround. For the offensive side, protecting the quarterback better, and for the defense, getting pressure on the quarterback. If they're able to play better up front on both sides of the ball, it bodes well for the Ticats getting back to the Grey Cup. An efficient play from the quarterback goes without saying. We talked about this all video long. One of the 3 guys has to step up and be the guy throughout the course of an 18-game season. And they must become more dynamic on special teams. Some of the plays they're going to make this year has to come from the special teams department, whether that's from the coverage units or the outstanding return units with Brandon Banks. I have the Ticats finishing 3rd in the East, and if the quarterback play is consistent from the start, there's no doubt that they can challenge for the top of the division. And even though I like what they've done to bolster that defensive line, it still remains to be seen if they can keep it consistent for a full season. I think they still have more than enough talent to have a winning season and also make the playoffs. And I just want to give a huge shout out to CFL Fan Forums for always showing football game plan support.